Hello and welcome to this edition of Wednesday Editions with me, Big Sky 35. A little late getting us out. I was going to do it yesterday. Just felt a little under the weather. Wasn't feeling myself yesterday. Just some days are like that, especially when you have the sugars. Um, yeah, every once in a while, just have a bad day. So I actually had a bad couple of days, but I'm good now. Bounce back is good still. And I'm glad to be able to do this. I got just a short 5 PSA return, but I also want to chat with y'all. That's why I'm going to do it this way and not show it in front of me. I'm just going to chat a little bit as well about PSA and some things going on. So first is going to be Kelsey Plum. Uh, some would call this her rookie card. I would not. I would call this XC first card, Sports Illustrated card. It's kind of tough with some of these sports where they didn't make cards every year and a lot of special editions and non cards, licensed cards. But still happy to have this. This is for her, and it's her to collect her is it's a must have basically. Still holding out to get an autograph. Just not going to overpay. I talk to Wesker Griff about this all the time. I am very hesitant to buy singles of bigger in the hundreds. Yes, as a collector, you still want your stuff to hold value. I think if I really am a fan, in a couple of years, I think these cards will come back to not where they were, but at least reasonable where they should be probably in the market. There at the last show, I saw better prices, but at the National and some of the other shows, bigger shows, they were kind of ridiculous. But I'll just wait it out. This one here is one that's going to go up for sale. I can see now why it's got a 9. It's an Otani Sunshine Holiday. So we got the 9 on it. And, I'm going to point it out. You can see a little left to right there. A little off center. I did not see that when I turned it in. That's one thing you can see with these bordered cards. So that got me to 9. And look, people are complaining because PSA is graded tougher. Good. They should. Don't you want your cards to be, if it's a gem mint, don't you want it to be a gem mint? Like without question, or a mint? It's a 9 is a mint card. That means it is mint. I don't know how else to define mint other than it's not gem mint. They had to put this other word, this other adverb or adjective in front of it to another descriptive name in front of a 10. And then, you got like some other companies that's got the 11. It just cracks me up. So I am glad that PSA is tougher. I want my cards to be graded tough. I don't want to be given grades. I don't know when these people sit here and bitch, and I don't think they have anything to gain by keeping 10s out of the selling. I don't know what they have to gain by that as a company by having a low pop of 10s. I never understood that argument. PSA used to be this is one thing that SGC and CGC and have brought to the world of grading is they made PSA a better grading company. I was reading, I'm in a group on Facebook, and it's more for comedy. Whenever I feel like why I'm an idiot and I can go and read the comments and stuff. And one of them was, why is, the PSA is the Cadillac and SGC's the Toyota, and I'm like, well, it depends on what you want. But first off, I don't know how you can say that. It's the card inside the plastic is the difference maker when it comes to Cadillac and Toyota. Uh, but they both grade well, and both now they're going to be very the same in grading because they're just using the same graders down in Florida. So it's going to be the same grading. Uh, but when I hear things like that, it's like, tell me you haven't been in a hobby long, or just have a grip. Uh, and I think a lot of these people that are in this website, I think it's for newbies, but it's a lot of people that talk like they have experience, and you can tell they don't. They live in a bubble and they believe this nonsense that PSA is better than everybody else when it's just the hobby has decided that's the flip that they want in their collection. And I can tell you right now, it's because they got easy tens and quick turnarounds. So that's why if CGC could just do the quick turnarounds, I think they can make at least make it worthwhile for you to grade your stuff. And they just fumble. They're fumbling the ball, and I wish they wouldn't. It's really been upsetting to me. I'm still using SGC as well. I have cards there. I love getting my living set and vintage cards there, or vintage looking cards. I also like getting my smaller cards graded there. But I love CGC the best out of the way they look out of all of them. But I'm sticking non-sport with them, and even non-sport that I want to sell, I want to go PSA because that is what the marketplace has decided that they want. I mean, they do it in everything. There's no reason that one soft drink might sell more than the other. Or heaven forbid if they're in the same place side by side. It's just what the marketplace has decided. That's all it is. That's all it is. And, it might change. But, I mean, PSA is all but, flipped us off. Let me show another card before we go too much into this. And this is what I'm going to talk about. So now we're going to get into my registry. So this is 2012 Topps Gypsy Queen, Gary Carter. Now this is in the registry. This is well after his playing day cards. I got most of the Topps Master playing days and one other one. I think I'm lacking I got 100% done and one I'm lacking 4. But I'm in no hurry to get any of them done. I just kind of, in my box that I have these in, I just kind of reach in, grab a few, decide what I want to send, and go that way. And if it looks good, I go with it. So, and I love these Gypsy Queens. Gypsy Queen, great card in the SGC holder. But, needed this for the registry. Our friend Victor had a great talk about the registry. I've been talking a long time in nauseum about probably when they started going up hard on cards, when they went from 9 to 11 to 12 to 20, and then COVID hit and they just said screw. And then when the new people bought it, it was all about, everybody's like, oh, they're collectors. That's fine. But they don't collect like us. So it's more about the big cards, the comma cards. They're friends in a hobby and getting, that's why, it's bullshit that it costs more to grade a high-end card than it is a base card. But, they keep saying, oh, they don't want the base cards. Then the base cards should be more expensive and then not do the other ones. Because, if you're going to do a card, what's it, for $75 and you're going to sell it for $100. I mean, yeah, you got $25, I guess, but I don't know if that's worth it. I don't. I'm trying to figure out what, because like we were talking, me and Maiko, the year that they opened up at the vintage table, and this might have been a year or two before COVID. Even then, they opened up one, and the guy hit the Mickey Mantle, and we were like, you can't afford to send that in. Like I couldn't afford to send that in and get graded because the price of the card, even though I'm not selling the card. So it's not worth anything. It's going to be in my collection. Why does PSA feel like they should get a part of my money? Even though if I'm going to sell it, they shouldn't get a piece of it unless they're going to sell it for me. To me, that's just ridiculous, and I don't understand. And I'm trying. I want to dig in and see if there's anything like a lawsuit or something, because I don't really. I don't get it. I've always said, if I go to a car wash and I go in there with my little grocery getter and I pay the $24.99 or 30, whatever the highway robbery is, and I get a car wash, and a guy comes in behind me with a Corvette, is he supposed to pay $140 to get his washed in detail? No, it's the same price. It's a car. It's a car. Now, they might take more time to do the rims or whatever because it's a nicer car. People doing it will be in awe or whatever. But, I that's the questions I've always had with the grading and return shipping. Why do I ship the same amount of cards to you for $9, but it costs $25, at least $25 to bring them back to me, or $35 or $40? I don't get it. And they're a company, so I know for a fact they don't pay the same prices we do for postage. They're going to have an agreement. And if they don't, then they don't know how to run a business. Next off is going to be another Gary Carter 10, and this is a 2013 Topps Archives. Gem Mint 10. I like this card, Expos. They tend to do a lot of, mix it up. You don't see too many Giants or Dodgers, but you do see the Expos and Mets about even. I do like that. They're going to be doing that Expos documentary here in October on Netflix, I believe. So I'm really interested in what happened to that team. My buddies made sure I knew about it. And this one here is a Topps Archives Gary Carter reprint. I was shocked that I did get a 10 on this one because it was just 2012. Like I said, I bought a bunch of these. I have several copies of all of these. These cards here are tough, but I also have on my brain the year that this card was made, actually, so might be some of the parts. So 2012, like I said, his non-playing days. And that's all I have for you today. And I just want to talk a little bit about grading and PSA going up again in prices. SGC, I just feel like it's taking longer to get back stuff from them. Even though my last couple have come back pretty fast. PSA's come back pretty fast. These were, it's supposed to be 60 days. I am not waiting 60 days. 45 maybe month, maybe. But see, they rather under promise and over deliver. I'll take that. CGC's to 80 days right now. 80. I mean, that's three. That's going to be well over 3 months for business days. I don't understand it, and they had every chance in the world to. Then they know they're lame, just like everybody else. Nobody expects them to overcome, but you want a viable somewhere else to go where you can get your cards graded, and if you want to sell it. Okay, you might not get the PSA, but somebody at least come in, 75, 80% of that price for it. I don't understand why people pay the difference. I want the card. I can give a damn about the holder. Um, I think those companies are pretty reputable and they're grading whatever you say. I think they're all pretty even. Everybody, they're done about people. So everybody has bad days. Uh, Whatever AI they're using, people are at the end of it. Uh, you know, um, you could tell that PSA, when they were growing fast, they were having some growing pains because there was a lot of more issues of flips being wrong and lint in the glass, and they all do that. I mean, it's it's a learning curve, and the problem with PSA is their customer service. They don't care. They do a million of cars a month. If a couple of people leave, they're almost happy because Jesus, how much more you can do to have to? I mean, that's why they can go up on prices. They can keep going up on prices. We still send in a bunch of cards, so why wouldn't they just keep going up on prices? If you're mad about the prices going up, we wouldn't do it. I know one thing: if GameStop goes up with this next price hike, I'll stop. I'll stop unless it's bigger cards that I want to flip. That's it to make money. The registry's fun. I like having more for me. I love having my Gary Carter collection graded. I'm not really. I don't look to see where I'm at on the board. It's the only one that I have PSA where it's not a Frankenstein where I put all kinds. If you watch Sunday night, we had Chris from Missouri talking about how he uses that checklist. That's what I do as well. I have a handful of registries. I have 71 tops, baseball, handful of Gary Carters. I have a Johnny Bench, 2 different ones, which I try to find stuff. Johnny Bench already graded is tough to find in PSA. I can find it in SGC. It's tough to find in PSA and in that happy range that I can afford. Since a lot of his cards are 70s and 80s, you find a lot of higher cards graded, not the middle collector's ranges that you would call. In my neck, but I already have I've had the rookie for a long time now, probably over a decade. And then I've got, I think I have all the 60s cards. So, it's just his cards are not cheap either in high grades. So, because the 70s and 80s, the high grade, they want to call, all those cards are cheap until you put a number on the top, and then all of a sudden it's got a number on it. And you can talk all you want about new cards having numbers and shiny and all this stuff. Once you get it graded and has a number on it, guess what? It's the same thing. Just your number's a pop number, or it's only so many of these at this. It's no different. It's no different than me pulling a card, 5 of 50, and saying, "Oh, I have a card. It's a pop 9. There's only 10 higher and only 5 9s." Okay. What did you just say that was any different than I said I got 1 card out of 50? Nothing. And the only difference is the one I got out of 50, no more will be added to that number. But grading cards, there's always going to be cards added to the number of graded cards. Unless it's a short print, like a 50 card or something. But it's always funny how people talk about things, especially in the graded world, to get around, talk to what they feel like is the right way. To me, it doesn't matter. Like I said, I have a very Frankenstein. I am Frankenstein, and I put together a monster. I don't know how many different flips in my collection, and I don't care. I don't care that I open up a box and it's SGC CGC, PSA. Now I do have them where I put all my PSA together, all my perp with each player, but that's it. I mean, I do have my own ways of ODC collecting. I think we all do, but and my Pete Alonso rookies for tops at 475. I like to have those in PSA just so they all, when I put them uh, in my case, they just all look together like alike. So that's all I got for you today. I just I know a lot of people are turned off by grading. I went to my last show. I did not buy a graded card, and none of the cards I bought I will be getting graded. So yeah, I pulled a Star Wars card today that I'll be getting graded. A nice Ahsoka number to 50. I'm pretty sure that's really close to a case it. This Star Wars Chrome has quite a few or a handful of cards that's like the numbering, the pack numbering where to get to hit is almost either the case or really close to one a case. So I don't know which one would be the case hit or not. It probably depends on the character. Ahsoka is a big character. I love Ahsoka. One of my favorite characters in the Star Wars world. But that's not grading. That's what I'm talking about today. I am done. Thank you for watching. Let me know if any of these cards, look good. I need to do talk about my more about my PSA registry one day on a Saturday when I talk about how I'm doing things. Now I'm starting to leave some of the pettiness behind me. I hopefully won't see too many more rants from me on a Saturday. But until Saturday, well, tomorrow I'll have a Nerdy Thursday and then Saturday. So like, share, tell a friend. Hi to all my new subscribers out there. Please subscribe if you haven't. Draft for 725 is the next big number for me. Man, and we're knocking it down. Thank you so much. Until next time, see ya.